Hey, Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Well, let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from French Bread 2023 from the True Off My Chest subreddit, titled, "Friend is mad because my husband complimented her." A good friend of mine broke up with her boyfriend of 6 years after she discovered he was cheating. She has recently decided to get back into dating, but she wanted the first date to be a double date for her own comfort. Her date was completely on board and they invited my husband and I. We met at a restaurant. My husband and I arrived first and my friend showed soon after. Before our date arrived, my husband made a comment to her. "That dress looks elegant on you. The color is unique." Here's the thing about my husband and his family. They give compliments. It's never sexual or over the top, but they will occasionally give nice comments to people they know and trust, regardless of gender. And they do it sensibly, in my opinion. And it's not always about appearances. It's one of the things that attracts me to him. The dinner went well, we thought. My friend's date seemed to hit it off with her, but the next day, my friend texted me this. "You need to tell husband to stop making comments about other women. That's how affairs start." I told her I disagreed. She responded, "As someone who was cheated on, trust me, I know. I can't believe you're okay with husband looking at my dress. I was pissed off for you." I told her that if she's uncomfortable with him complimenting her, then she can tell him herself and that he'll respect her boundaries and wishes. She replied with a rolling eyes emoji. "Don't come crying to me when you catch him with another woman," with red flags. I'm at a complete loss for how to approach this. Despicable Coffin says on this one, "I guess she didn't consider him complimenting her as a friend would be a nice boost to her confidence right before a major date." Shake my head. To which Opie replies and says, "When we're on the way, my husband even asked, how do I appropriately be a wingman for a woman? I told him not to worry about it and let me do that part." Aggravating Pitch replies to that and says, "He sounds great. I hope this hasn't affected you both too much. It is neither of your faults. Hope your friend reevaluates her actions and heals." Opie says, "I hope she does too. And I think she will. I can't imagine how badly she's been hurting. My husband is currently blissfully unaware. Once again, if she has an issue and wants to set a boundary, then she can talk to him, adult to adult." Sock United says, "Time to start gradually backing away from this woman before she accuses your husband of something horrendous." Opie says, "I did think of that. Obviously my first priority is to keep him safe. That said, I think she's going through the anger phase of heartbreak. We're not the first people she's lashed out at recently, and that's very unlike her." Lazuli Rose replies to that and says, "If that's how she lashes out at people, accusing your husband of looking at other women and insinuating that a compliment means he'll cheat, then she might end up with less friends." OP says, "Fair point. Hope she is more careful moving forward." The other friend she lashed out at was for being pushy, as this friend was trying to ask more about her new date. Wolfie Love 144 says she has no trust for any man because one broke her heart. That being said, it does not give room for her to put her own insecurities on everyone else. Then be bitter when you stand firm in trust with your husband. A great response would be, not every man will be like your ex. If you think a compliment is open territory for cheating, I think you should get some help before dating again. It is clear you have trust issues, and if you don't heal a wound another person created, you'll bleed on others who had nothing to do with it." Opie then leaves a separate comment below the post and says, "Wow, so many good thoughts that have given me so much to ponder. Here is what I've gathered so far. 1. My friend is projecting. This makes sense. I think projection confuses me and I didn't recognize it in this case, but now I do, and it absolutely checks out. 2. My husband will not be having any interactions with her for the time being. She's more so my friend than his, so he won't be feeling left out. Regardless, it's worth it if it means she doesn't get to accuse him of anything. 3. The more I read comments, the angrier I get at her allegation. I didn't fully comprehend that she saw my husband as a cheater, and I'm not okay with that at all. He was just being his kind self. 4. I agree with giving her space for now, and if she wants to come back when she's feeling and being better, then I may talk with her about how problematic this was, while also empathizing with her, because I know she's hurting. And the question was going through my head as well whilst I was reading it. How is she ready for dating if she's thinking along these lines? Imagine the person she's dating and, if they get into a relationship, how's she going to treat that person as well? Kind of worrying, really. But OP posts an update and says, "My husband now knows. Over breakfast, I showed him the text messages. Initially, he just said, 'What the hell?' But then he reread them. I think it got him a little, as his facial expression got more serious and attentive. Then he said, "That's disgusting. You know I'd never cheat or compliment someone to cheat, right?" I told him yes, of course. That's all that matters. Don't smell what she's stepping in. She can work on that in therapy. Thank you all again. Initially I wasn't going to tell him, but I'm glad I did. Your thoughts helped me to change my mind. I'm not going to respond to my friend, but if she reaches out for anything, then I will tell her we need to resolve this first. Update 2. First of all, thank you to so many of you who shared your thoughts and support on the post I made yesterday. I've been blown away by the show of kindness and interest from internet strangers. 3 things of note have transpired since the incident that occurred over the weekend. 1. This morning, after some of you kind souls changed my mind, I showed my husband the text messages while we were at breakfast. At a glance he said, "What the hell?" but then read it again and paused to think. He found it disgusting and agrees that I should not involve myself further, and that my friend probably needs therapy to overcome her hurt. His exact words, "Don't smell what she's stepping in." Lol. 2. My husband called me on his lunch break and honestly sounded a little alert, like shaken up. When he opened Facebook today, he found a friend request from my friend. Now, neither of us want to jump to conclusions. He doesn't check Facebook often, and it doesn't say when she sent him the request. I want to assume it was before the double date. Regardless, he declined it. 3. Unfortunately, some of you were right and my friend Kay involved someone else. A mutual friend, Jay, sent me screenshots. To my knowledge, this is the only person she talked to. Kay said she felt like my husband was looking at her and it was ick as fuck, and she asked Jay what to do. Jay pleaded with her not to do or say anything, and Kay agreed not to. But this conversation happened before she texted me, so she lied. I thanked Jay for letting me know and sent the following message to Kay. Some of my wording was inspired by people who took the time to share their thoughts on the original post. Opie says, "Hey, I've thought about what you said and I'm very not okay with it. You said when I find husband with another woman, not if, which tells me you already judged him as unfaithful over a completely innocent and well-intentioned compliment, which is normal for him. I've cherished your friendship, but I don't think I can be close with someone who thinks my life partner is unfaithful. I say this with love, but perhaps because you've been burned, and you have absolutely been burnt. Now every light looks like a fire to you. My hope and prayer is that you heal from what's been broken. Maybe after some healing or some counseling, we can talk, but for now I think I need to create some distance because I'm feeling very hurt by your comments. Nothing but hope for the best for you." I concluded the text with a link to an article on projection. She hasn't responded and I don't think she will, and I definitely don't have the emotional capacity to respond if she does. I'm just tired at this point. I don't want to talk to Jay about it because I don't want to be a wrench in her friendship with Kay. I am once more getting it off my chest here, though I feel a little guilty about sharing so much. Hopefully this is the last update. Sorry it was a novel. I'm going to watch some shows until I feel something. Right now, I'm just numb. Update 3. I think I broke a sub rule in the second update. I apologize to the mods if that's what happened, and I won't let it happen again. Either way, the post was taken down. I want to get this final update off my chest and finally move on from this entirely. Summary up to this point. Husband and I went on a double date with a friend who was cheated on and ended a 6-year relationship. My husband said her dress looked elegant and unique. It's very normal for him and his whole family to compliment people. Husband and I used a gift card to pay for most of the meal. Friend's date paid the rest. This becomes relevant later. The next day, my friend texted me saying she was pissed for me because of what my husband said, and after I defended him, she said, "Don't come crying to me when you catch him with another woman." After some lovely encouragement from this sub, I showed my husband the text yesterday morning. He was disgusted and seemed a little bothered but was okay. Later at work he calls me and tells me the friend sent him a Facebook friend request. We don't know when she sent it though. He's uncomfortable and chooses to reject it. A mutual friend shared screenshots with me of our friend talking about the compliment. I text friend and tell her that I need some space after what she said, and after she's done some healing perhaps we can talk again. At 12 last night, husband received money online from friend. Same amount as the gift card was for. Dave, hubby and friend never sent money online before. She and I have. Confused why she sent it to him and not me. We also never asked to be reimbursed. He stated he feels like he's being set up both by keeping the money or sending it back and is mulling over what to do. After some broken sleep, I text her one last time saying, "Do not contact us anymore. Be well." I just wanted to get all this out in one place, so hopefully we can move the hell on. Mods, I apologize if any rules have been broken. Thank you for allowing me this cathartic space to release this. I feel hurt and torn and bludgeoned by the suddenness of all of this. Going from having a good friend to no longer trusting them in 3 to 4 days is a lot. I still empathize because she's lost a trusting relationship with a significant other of 6 years and can only imagine that all of it is what's causing this confusing behavior. Regardless, we're done with it and I am spent. So OP asked in another sub should they tell their mutual friends about the problematic behavior, and then shared what we just previously read but added a couple more new points and says, she proceeded to send a friend request to my husband on Facebook. He's uncomfortable so he declines it. Hours later she finds him on a money sharing app and sends him money, the amount we paid with our gift card. At that point I text her and told her not to contact him or me. The next day she sends him another Facebook request and he blocks her. She told one of our 2 mutual friends that she was upset by me and my husband. The friend sent me the text exchange. My actual question is, my husband and I are still feeling uncomfortable. Is it appropriate to discuss this with the mutual friends? I don't want it to hurt their relationship with her, but I also want them to let me know if she continues to talk about my husband or give them a heads up that she and I are not communicating right now so as not to end up at the same outing or anything. Is this reasonable or is this just causing more drama? OP continues saying, one of our 2 mutual friends also sent me screenshots of Kay telling her that she thought my husband was going to cheat on me because of the compliment. The friend vouched for him and told her to leave it alone. This was before she even texted me the first time. Phew, that brings us to today. I do not like sharing gossip among friends. However, I've been contemplating telling our 2 mutual friends that Kay and I are not speaking. Firstly, because I don't want us to accidentally end up at the same outing in our group chat, but also I kind of want to know if she talks more about my husband. However, I do not want to tarnish their friendship with Kay. And people suggested for OP to tell the friends and they're not the a-hole at all and all this kind of thing. Then OP says, I called each of my friends and explained to them what happened. I told them about the texts and the repeated contact attempts on social media and that my husband and I don't want any contact with her moving forward. They both shared that they've been worried about her recently because it seems like she's gone from being shy, relatively conservative kind of girl to suddenly very outgoing, and one of them even said she's been doing risky things that aren't like her. She didn't go into detail, but they both agreed to try and encourage her to get some help. Thank you again everyone for your thoughts. Update 7. I'm beyond myself. I turned to Reddit after what started out as a weird confusing situation and everyone was so helpful and supportive. I thought it was over. My husband came home from work a while ago with tears in his eyes. She fucking sent him photos of herself in a skimpy outfit. She somehow got his phone number and sent him pictures from a number different from the one I have from her. Cleavage hanging out, hands on various different body parts. I saw the photos. Her face is out of frame, but she has the same build and I swear I recognize the room in the photo as her bathroom. I fucking know it's her. The timing is too coincidental to not be. Husband is on the porch talking to his dad on the phone. I'm trying to make dinner, but I feel like I'm about to lose it. I feel so helpless for him. He's probably not even going to eat, so I don't even know why I'm making anything. Couple of comments on that one asking questions. So someone said about OP getting the new number. OP responded, he already did, and it was really easy. Only a few close people are going to get the new number, so I don't think it will be too tiresome. Someone gives OP advice and reminds her that there are apps that can fake text. OP says, thank you for this. I didn't even know fake texting apps existed. I feel like nothing good can come from that. OP continues in the next update and says, I've said this before, but I actually think this might be the real final update. Because of that, I tried to give some potential future insight as well. This sub has been so helpful and reassuring, and I truly feel like I've been able to get a lot off my chest. Also, this is the first you're seeing, and if for some reason you want to know more, just go through my post history. I don't think linking old posts is allowed. Also, I apologize if I've been making too many posts here. It's just easier for me to do updates separately. I get overwhelmed otherwise. First, thanks to many of you for sending positive thoughts for my husband. He doesn't do Reddit, but he knows I've been posting here about things, and he and I both appreciate your kindness. I'm a little worried because he got sick at work this morning, but he claims breakfast just didn't sit well, and it's not stress. I think it's both, but he requested flaming hot chicken for dinner, so I take that as a good sign, lol. Some may disagree with me on this, and that's okay. I understand. However, when my friend spoke to Kay's aunt a second time today, the aunt asked to speak with me and I agreed. Aunt is amazing. She spoke with me and my father-in-law and actually asked if she could meet us at the police department. So father-in-law and I met husband and the aunt at the police department. My husband and I were able to make a report regarding What has been going on? Aunt wants to come with because she has tried multiple times to reach Kay today after hearing what's going on and hasn't heard from her. I will try not to give too much info here. She informed the police department that Kay had episodes when she was in her custody as a late teenager, and she freaking brought the paperwork to prove it. She means business. We live in a city that has a mental health crisis team, so the police department, Aunt, and that team are doing a wellness check of sorts, and Aunt is really going to push for her to be evaluated at the hospital. The officer we spoke to said there's a chance they can do a psych hold, which I hope won't cause further trauma. A restraining order can't be granted for the time being, which my husband and I understand, and many of you warned, but there is at least a report. Some have asked what comes next. Should this be mental/medical episode, and Kay recovers from it? First of all, I hope she does. My husband will absolutely continue to have no contact under any circumstance. A college professor of ours back in the day told me that you can forgive someone and still draw a firm boundary, and that is what I would intend to do. I don't want to deny her the opportunity to apologize if that's something that needs to be done for her healing, but we will not be friends in the future. We had our season. I hope with my whole heart this is the end of it. I feel a great sense of relief and hope for the best for her. My husband has a great support system in both of our families, and he is my focus now. Time for some homemade flaming hot chicken. Another update from OP. You can find the original post in my history if you want to catch up. The short of it was my husband complimented a friend of mine on her dress during a double date that she requested. She texted and accused my husband of being a cheater afterwards. The following week was spent dealing with her contacting him on social media multiple times, sending him money, us telling her to stop, and climaxing when she sent him sexually suggestive photos. We filed a police report for harassment and, with the help of our aunt, who was alerted to the situation, the friend was hospitalized for a mental health episode of some kind. It was a stressful time for me and my husband especially, as he was scared out of his mind he was being set up for a false accusation or that something would make me question him, which was never the case. Anyway, I guess my ex-friend, we'll call her Kay, was recently released from the hospital. She called me this morning and asked if she and I could meet one-on-one to talk things over. I agreed, and we did that a short while ago. She was very apologetic. She described the episode as watching herself do despicable things without being able to stop herself. She admitted that before she felt completely out of her own mind. She wanted to inflict harm because she was feeling so hurt herself that she wanted to get revenge on someone. But that she says she does not remember specifically targeting me and my husband. I'm not sure how to feel about that. She's now under the care of a good mental health team and her aunt, who is so badass, and is getting back to being her normal self. She asked if she and I could still be friends. I told her my loyalty is to my husband, and by hurting him, she hurt me. I told her I forgave her. I do not think ill of her, and I hope with my whole heart she finds continued health and happiness. But an ongoing friendship is a no. I shared with her some of what we went through, installing a camera, etc. And I feel a bit badly because I think she felt quite guilty because of it. But I felt it necessary for her to understand the boundary I am maintaining. She wrote my husband an apology note, which she allowed me to read. He declined to read it himself and says she has forgiven her in his heart. But hearing from her would bring the anxiety and stress back up, which I totally get. I feel relieved that she is on the mend and sad for closing the chapter on a friend. I'm also worried that my husband is still impacted by what happened. I'm trying to communicate with him often and keeping an eye on him. Hopefully time will continue to heal all parties involved. There was a random post in between another one where Opie put what to expect after an accident. Opie says, my husband and I were in a bad car accident last night. We were going on green and got T-boned. The driver who hit us then assaulted me by grabbing my hair when I went to check on him. Hubby had to pin him down until onlookers came to help keep this guy subdued. I got some whiplash, but my husband needed stitches and has a concussion. We gave a brief statement to the police. I don't know what to expect regarding insurance, charges, or anything else. This is the first ever car accident for both of us. Opie's husband then uses the same account to just post a thank you. He said, hey all, this is actually French Bread's husband. I don't use Reddit, so I'm borrowing her account. A couple of weeks ago, she shared our story about some harassment that started over a double date and something I said about a dress. She told me she had gotten a lot of support from this sub. So while I'm home recovering from a concussion and bored out of my mind, allowed to slowly reintroduce screen time, I decided to look over the posts and comments. Wow. I'm moved seeing internet strangers taking their time to encourage and support my wife and me during that time. Hopefully this is appropriate for the sub, but I just wanted to say thanks to anyone who shared their thoughts and support, and for this space being able to be used as an outlet. Thanks all. Means a lot. And the husband did mention in another comment that the ex-friend has not bothered them since and is still receiving help. And I'm glad to see that Opie and husband have a great relationship in the way that they communicate to one another, because very early in this story it could have all went horribly wrong, like we've seen in many stories of accusations of cheating before. And I think Opie handled this very maturely towards the end and said themselves that, they can forgive them for the friend's health and for their healing moving forward, but they don't want nothing to do with them really moving forward. And I think after all that, I would feel very similar, I think. Whilst of course I feel for anyone who's going through mental health issues, and I couldn't imagine what it would be coming like at not realizing what you've done and all this kind of thing. It must be absolutely horrific. I think sometimes you just have to protect yourself and your own relationship, and after what this couple's been through, I can't blame them for their actions. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and just a huge thank you for joining me today. Getting involved in the stories, your love, support and time always means the absolute world to me. Don't forget to keep sending me those pictures over on Twitter at MarkNarrations of what you're up to whilst listening. It's one of my favorite things to do at the end of the day. Just get on there and see these photos of your pet tax, your crochet tax, people sending me your big rigs and all that kind of thing. Any of your hobbies, I love to see it. Thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care. Nah, you just don't